As a lot of you know, I'm pretty into blue fragrances. Definitely no secret if you're familiar with this channel. And this year I've actually picked up quite a few blue fragrances, whether it be leaning towards the light blue side or just a straight up blue that's good for all year round. In this video, I've got 10 of my favorites that I've picked up from 2021 alone, and I want to discuss them with you. So stay tuned. Starting with a fragrance that had a lot of hype when it came out, and then once it started hitting discounters, the hype grew because you get it for a better price, but haven't seen a lot of discussion or posts or anything like that about it, but it's still great nonetheless. That's Bentley from Men. This is the SILVERLAKE flanker. Essentially another version of Acqua di Gio Essenza. Very blue. Very, very blue. Definitely on the lighter side as far as the profile. It's a lot fresher, but it's strong enough to go year round. It's got a heavy dose of amberwood, making it a straight up blue fragrance, to be honest with you. And like I said, it has that familiar DNA to Acqua di Gio, though leaning more the Acqua di Gio side of things because of the power and the density of the scent profile versus the original Acqua di Gio. You can get these in the 40 some odd dollar range from a few different discounters. This bottle came from FragranceBuy.ca a while back. I paid around $46. Like I said, this was months ago. Not sure what they're going for right now and who's got them. But if you like that style scent profile and you just want it to perform better, you might want to look into Bentley from Men SILVERLAKE, because it's definitely a fantastic blue fragrance that I've picked up so far this year. The newest release in the Boss Bottled line. Boss Bottled Eau de Parfum. I actually did a full review on this one earlier in the year, and the easiest way to describe this one is you take Boss Bottled and you make it a blue fragrance. Pretty much what they did. There's a heavy dose of sage, and most blue fragrances have a prominent sage note. They give it that bubblegummy, Eros meets Invictus-y type of smell, which is kind of the blueprint for a blue fragrance. This is basically Eros meets Boss Bottled, is the best way I can put it. You do have the cardamom to continue with the spice. You do have that warm apple that the scent DNA is known for. Like I said, it's like taking Versace Eros and mixing it with Boss Bottled, and this is kind of what you would come up with, I think anyways. Decent performer, above average in the longevity, while not super strong in projection, definitely prominent and noticeable for the first hour and a half to 2 hours or so. Relatively strong, but not overpowering, not an overwhelming type of projection, and it does sit a little bit close to the skin after that. But like I said, if you like Boss Bottled and you want a more modern take on Boss Bottled, this is it, because these days blue fragrances is the modern take. While some people can't stand blue fragrances, obviously I'm a fan because I like, easy to wear fragrances. While I do enjoy a good challenging fragrance from time to time, the majority of days I just want something that I'm going to enjoy smelling. And blue fragrances for me do that, and Boss Bottled Eau de Parfum is definitely a blue fragrance. So this is a very new release from one of my favorite independent houses. Shout out to you, E.J. Wells. This is the newest release from Happyland Studios called Shameless. While an orange label and looks like an Aventus scent profile on the note breakdown, not an Aventus fragrance. Much bluer than you would think. The dry down just smells like a blue fragrance. It's straight up ambergris and vanilla and musk. Is pretty much what the dry down is. I did a first impressions video in the last few days. I'm digging this. This was my scent of the day yesterday, as a matter of fact. It's going to be a big, massive spray that's going to come out, and I didn't even push it all the way down. Man, you get a bit of crisp apple up top, plenty of black currant in the opening, but there's this orangey type of smell and a heavy dose of ambergris right off the bat. There's this sharp ambergris, almost like an ambroxan smell, if you will, but more salty than anything. Gives it an aquatic nature for sure. The bitterness starts to turn to more of a bergamot smell instead of black currant and orange. So there's citruses is the note in here. It's not straight up bergamot or orange. So it kind of changes for me with how the citrus smell is in the opening, but as it starts to dry, it just becomes more ambergris, musk, and some vanilla starts to creep in while still maintaining a little bit of fruitiness. It becomes much more blue and aquatic in the heart and the dry down, I find. While not having any watery notes or anything like that, I don't really get any florals outside of lavender. The lavender is the game-changing player in this composition to separate it. It adds a strong aromatic quality. It adds a little bit of soapiness and really smooths everything out for that transition into this blue style dry down. Really good stuff. I think you should check it out. You can always get a sample. You don't have to get a bottle. Use Shameless 15 at checkout and you'll get 15% off your order. I will leave a Happyland link to their shop down below. Not an affiliate link, just going to put it there for convenience because everybody wanted EJ to do a freshie. You finally got a freshie from Happyland and it's a damn home run. I think everybody should check this bad boy out. Happyland Studios Shameless. So just because they're blue doesn't mean they can't be niche. Now, granted, more the light blue side of blue. This is one of my favorite acquisitions to my collection overall this year. It's running a race with Burlington 1819, which is from the same house. I'm talking about ROJA Parfums, Oceania. The stuff is super nice, I'm telling you. Not a loud fragrance. More intimate, closer to the skin, but very light and airy. Wafts are very easy. People will smell you in the first 2 or 3 hours. Very high quality ingredients, but it manages to have an aquatic smell, a very light blue aquatic smell with no sea notes, watery notes, ambroxan, nothing that would lend you to believe aquatic when you look at the note breakdown. While dominated with citruses, there's some violet, there's some iris that's very present that gives it this soapy nature. It's soapy floral, not waxy floral. And like I said, as it dries down, it has this ambergris, aquatic, salty marine kind of vibe going for it while not having any notes that would really warrant the smell. It's crazy the way Raja Dove was able to create that with this note profile. It's great. I love the way it smells. Lasts quite long, 7 to 8 hours type of stuff on my skin before it fades to a faint skin scent. So not a beast, but definitely above average longevity, moderate to slightly below moderate, I guess below average you would say, projection. So after about an hour, it is a bit closer. It's not a real heavy projector, but this scent is incredible. It's light, airy, and ozonic, and it's just a delight to smell. I have been really enjoying this fragrance since I got it. Get a sample if you can, get a decant, whatever. I understand bottles are expensive, and it's not that easy to just pull the trigger on a $300+ fragrance, but man, this stuff's great. It really is. Get a sample and try it, or get a decant. You'll understand what I'm talking about. ROJA Parfums, Oceania. Another one that's pretty recent to the collection. I just did a battle video between this and its original, which is technically a flanker in itself, because this is a flanker to the flanker. I'll put that video right here if you haven't checked it out. I am talking about the newest flanker in the Acqua di Gio line, Profondo Lights. With Profondo being a flanker to Acqua di Gio, Profondo Lights being a flanker to the flanker. Greener, fresher, still Profondo at its core. Not different enough to where I had a lot of people ask me in the comments, is it redundant? Yeah, it's pretty redundant to get both. It really is. But if you like Profondo that much, which I know a lot of people do, I definitely do, and you want a fresher take on it, and you like fresh greens, this guy right here, you'll like this fragrance. Still performs very well, still a compliment magnet like Profondo, just fresher and greener. Personally, I like the way this one smells a little bit more, to be completely honest with you. Spoiler alert if you want to check out the other video. But this one doesn't perform quite as well as Profondo. Very close, very, very close. Not as heavy projection, but still just a lovely scent. Still a blue fragrance through and through. Still a blue aquatic that has this fresh green aspect that was heightened, and fir balsam and cardamom was added to give it more green, fresh spiciness. The rosemary, I feel, was heightened. The balance changed on this from Profondo. I think this was a great release. Pretty redundant if you already have Profondo. Definitely not a must grab if you have Profondo. But if you don't have Profondo, try this one before you pull the trigger on Profondo, because you might end up liking this one more. Because I do. Acqua di Gio, Profondo Lights. So when it comes to this fragrance, there's no secret how much I enjoy this one. I love it. I have most of the fragrances in the line, while I did pick up most of the fragrances this year. I'm talking about YSL Y Eau de Toilette. Those of you who've been watching me for a while, you've seen me mention this one a few times before. You've seen me do a full review and so on. More on the light blue side, but definitely a blue fragrance through and through. Sage and ambergris at its heart. That's the core of this fragrance. Fresh, bright aldehydes and citrus up top. This is a compliment machine built for the summer. that actually performs a little better than your typical summer freshie. While not a beast, doesn't perform on the level of the EDP, but I don't feel like I sacrificed too much from the EDP. And I didn't want to just fill this video with Y flankers, so I put my favorite of the bunch. Because I did pick up Y Live, I did pick up Y Eau Fraiche as well. I do plan on getting Le Parfum and a bottle of EDP. I had a decant of EDP prior. I did a full review on that one a while back. But this stuff's stunning. I was late to the party. Not going to sit here and say I wasn't. I'll spray it one more time. It's just delightful. Super easy to wear and super easy to enjoy. It is a little synthetic. If you're more on the niche side of things and you just like these natural oils, yeah, you probably won't like this because it's not a natural smell. But for what it is, I think it's quite lovely. Super mega versatile, as blue fragrances tend to be. And one of my favorite blue fragrances that I've added and favorite pickups overall in 2021, YEDT. So EROS was mentioned a little while ago. We might as well talk about it. EROS Eau de Parfum. This was part of that FragranceBuy.ca haul where I got Bentley from SILVERLAKE as well. This is a tester bottle. I know Kingdom Fragrances has, or had, 100 milliliter bottles for a really good price. It was somewhere in the 40s, I believe. Low 50s maybe. It's worth it. It really is. If you don't have the EDT, I think this is the way to go. It's a little bit more rich and robust. Has more of that ambroxan wood type of smell. Warm woods, if you will. While still EROS at its core, it's just a richer version, I find, and performs really well. The added density makes it smell a lot better to me. While I never had anything against the EDT, and like I said, if you have the EDT, redundant buy. No reason to buy this. But if you don't have the EDT, I think this is the better version. That's why it's the one I picked up, because I've had many opportunities to pick up the EDT. And I have fragrances that smell similar to the EDT, but it never struck me as I need to add that to my collection. This struck me as I need to add this to my collection. I'm very glad I did. It performs very well, and it does everything you come to expect from EROS. It's that apple, mint, vanilla smell with a heightened ambroxan wood type of smell, really giving it that blue edge, really helping it push and project and last on my skin. Check this one out if you don't have the EDT. It's Versace EROS EDP. If you're looking for projection, steer away from this fragrance. If you're looking for what I feel is the best smelling Nautica fragrance that has great longevity, check out the newest flanker, well, the newest fragrance, Nautica Oceans. Yes, they brought the name back. Not the same fragrance, but the same premise. Alcohol-free. Why is that significant? The alcohol helps it project. But at the same time, the lack of alcohol helps it stay longer. There's nothing there to help it evaporate and push off of your skin. If there's no perfumer's alcohol, it really will lack projection. That is the case here. It lacks projection. But it lasts easy 8 hours on my skin. It's an oil stain like it's straight up pure oil, even though it's an eau de toilette concentration. There's a certain mixture of a sterile water base that they used in here to make it, you know, I'm sure it's like a 10 to 12% at best eau de toilette. But it's got the staying power. Because of the lack of alcohol, it has staying power, but it sacrifices its projection, but it smells fantastic. The only notes they give are sea salt, accord, and amberwood, and it's legit. It smells marine aquatic by the beach, and that amberwood really helps it stay and gives it that little bit of projection, because amberwood's a pretty strong synthetic that'll help push a fragrance and give it the staying power. It's one of those types of synthetics. I think this smells great. It's 35 to 40 bucks depending on where you get it. Amazon's gonna be your best bet. It's a mid-30s, but you can find them at Walgreens for $40, which is where this bottle came from. Every time I go to Walgreens, I see one bottle. They never have a large stock, but they seem to always have it. If that interests you, I did do a full review on this one. Check it out for my full thoughts on it. While maybe not worth 40 bucks for you, maybe you want to wait, I understand that, but for a Nautica fragrance, this is the best they've released in a long time, in my opinion. I think they did a great job for the house, and maybe you should check it out. It's one of my favorite blue pickups in 2021, the new Nautica Oceans. The way I like to describe this one is Coach for Men meets Dior Sauvage, because that's what it smells like to me. In the opening, it's Coach. In the dry down, it's Sauvage, John VARVATOS and Nick Jonas. Silver. Picked this up around the very beginning of the year, as well as the original blue bottle. I already had Crimson, and this is delightful. Now, not super long lasting, like a 5-hour fragrance, you know, but it smells great. It pushes pretty hard in the first hour and a half because it is Ambroxan smelling type of fragrance, hence the Sauvage comparison. It smells like Sauvage in the dry down. It's basically like getting Sauvage on a budget, though you can get Coach for Men in the similar price point. They perform about the same. If you like the opening of this, you'll love Coach for Men. But if you like Sauvage and don't want to spend that money, you might want to look at this. It doesn't smell exactly like Sauvage up top, but as it dries, it's pretty much Sauvage. Like I said, Coach for Men meets Sauvage. You can get 75 mLs like this at the rack stores for around 25 bucks, which is, this came from a Marshall's for $25. I see them pretty often this year. This is a decent pickup, especially if you're on a budget and you like blue fragrances. You want something easy to wear that's mass appealing, that has a real strong chance of getting you a compliment here and there. You might want to look into this one. One of my favorite blue pickups of this year, for sure. John VARVATOS and Nick Jonas, Silver. Last, this leans more to the light blue side of things because it's very marine and aquatic, but it performs pretty well for as light an area of a scent as it is, and it's extremely likable and mass appealing. It's Bulgari Aquamarine. A lot of people's favorite in this line, and I understand why. While Atlantique still edges it out as my favorite, this is a very close second. Oh man, it's got that bitter seaweed, but it's not overly bitter. It adds this salty marine aspect to it with the citruses, with the watery aquatic nature that it already has from its DNA. It's just taking ACQUA and making it fresher. You know, I do have ACQUA. I haven't spent a lot of time with it. I've spent a lot of time with Atlantique, and I've spent a decent amount of time with this one. Amara, I wear it very rarely, but this is some good stuff. This came from a Marshall's as well. I want to say I paid $50 for this 100 milliliter bottle. That's about going rate from discounters for a 100 ml. You can get 50 mLs a little bit cheaper. It's perfect for the summer. This is a warm weather blue fragrance, hence why I said it leans to light blue fragrance. Light blue is more hot weather. That's how I view that. It's kind of the ranking system I give these fragrances. But if you like smelling like you're hanging by the beach, you can wear it anytime. Obviously, you can wear anything, anytime. You just got to pull the trigger and spray. But for this time of year, this fragrance is perfect. Perfect. Not overly synthetic. Obviously not natural either. But it will transport you and your olfactory to the beach side. Somewhere where the waves are crashing, the sun is blaring, and the sand's between your toes. That sounds nice. You might want to get your hands on this. One of my favorites. Bulgari Aquamarine. Well, obviously not every blue fragrance that I've picked up this year, but definitely the 10 that have struck a chord with me the most. That's why they're the ones that were featured in this video. And until next time, do me a real quick favor, go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback and I love hearing from you guys. Did you pick up any of these this year? Have you added these to your collection? And if so, what do you think about them? Did some of these pique your interest? Let me know in the comments. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of these 10 and you give them a spray now, there's a really good chance you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.